Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. Uh, so, for the people that do not live in the United States today, we celebrate St. Patrick's Day. And I was thinking about all the terrible things that have been happening in this last few months. I mean, we just came out of a pandemic, and now we're going into a war. And the most interesting thing is that I feel people and I see people around me. And as a healer, I realize the suffering that we're experiencing because we're all interconnected, correct? So we can feel the pain of the Ukrainian people. We feel it as part of ourselves. And I guess what I wanted to talk to you about today was that we have to start focusing more on what the lesson is behind all these different challenges that we're going through. We have lost so many people during this pandemic, either for COVID or for lack of medical attention, for lack of resources, or for so many reasons. And now we're losing so many people due to the war. But I would like to focus more on what the lesson is behind all this terrible loss. There are powerful lessons that we learn from death. There are powerful lessons that we wouldn't otherwise learn. And I think the main thing that I've learned from all the loss and all the suffering that I've been around is that there is always a deeper message to loss. And I think what I've learned from the pandemic is to really focus on what's truly important, what really matters in life. Material things, they can be replaced, but family, it's hard to replace. So I think for me, the pandemic, what has taught me is to get closer to my loved ones and also to appreciate every day that I'm alive. One of the things that I've been working on heavily this season is on love. And since today is St. Patrick's Day, I started thinking about St. Patrick's. I remember when I was active in my church that I started teaching about St. Patrick's, and his story was very, very dramatic. For the ones that don't know, he was actually a child when he was kidnapped and taken to Ireland. And then he became a priest in Ireland, never went back to his native land, and taught and preached to these people. So he actually became part of the people that took him away from his land. How much level of love does it take to do that? I mean, how much level of understanding and acceptance does a person go through in order to survive that way? It's almost like it was written for him to be kidnapped and to be taken away, to go to a different land because he was meant to be that way. He was meant to be there. So if we are meant to go through this pandemic, if we are meant to go through all this war, what are we supposed to learn from all of this? That's the big question, right? And I think we are starting to see it. We're starting to see that we're all interconnected. We're starting to see that we all can pray together and make an impact. We're starting to see that even though we possibly cannot, all the money we send and all the food that we send might not necessarily change the world or the war, right? But we're starting to realize that if we all unite and we pray for these people, maybe something really big can happen. So I just wanted to talk about that there's things that you can do. There are many things that you can do. And one of them is to pray and to pray for them and to send them lots of love, because love is the biggest, more powerful energy in the universe. And it's not that I'm a romantic or that I am an idealistic person. In fact, now my training is as a scientist, but I ended up being a spiritual teacher because I learned that there was more to it than science and what things that meet the eye. And if we try to put everything in terms of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen, of physical things, that we can touch and we can make reactions with, we miss one important element, and that is the energy of love. And that is something that we all have. That is something that we all can share and we can send to the other side of the world. And that is so important that we realize that we have that power within ourselves. Now, some of us don't feel too much love within ourselves because we're drained, right? But it's because we have lost that connection with our higher self, lost that connection with the higher soul or the oversoul, right? So I guess today what I wanted to do was to just say a prayer for us, for our suffering, because we are suffering as well as the Ukrainian people. We suffer their pain, we suffer their sorrow, but at the same time, let's trust that everything is in divine order. Let's trust that everything is for a reason, and let's trust that we can be with them in this moment of suffering. So the way I like to do this is by just connecting to heaven in some way, if you want to say it, or the soul of the universe, and imagine this big cold sun above you that just encompasses everything, encompasses all the light in the universe and all the souls in the universe. And this is the provider of all the love that we need to change our reality. And as we do this, we're going to call for the energy of love and change and miracles. And we're going to ask for this energy to come down onto our hands. And you might be seeing colors now. I'm seeing green, I'm seeing yellow, I'm seeing something that I cannot even describe in color. But it's love. That's what it is. It's love in many, many ways, in understanding and compassion. And put it close to your heart and just start the prayer. I'm sending this magical love, this magical energy to all the people in the world that need love, understanding, and support in this very moment. To the power of all the souls in the universe, I'll send you this magical power of love. And send it to them to make miracles happen in their own place. And as you do this, also feel that energy of love in your heart, in yourself, in your aura, in your home. That peace that only comes for understanding that we are all in this together, that we're all part of the soul of the universe. Okay, well, happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope you have a beautiful St. Patrick's meal. And yeah, sorry, I'm not wearing green. I completely forgot about that. But have a wonderful, wonderful day. Sending you lots of love.